world to the static scream. Aliens came, was it all a dream? Stars went black, then silence fell. They're all dead. What the hell? One survivor, eyes like fire, crash landed in a funeral pyre. TJ saw with his own 2 eyes. Now he's running with the kids, chasing truth and lies. They're all gone, only one left. What did we do to deserve this theft? Is it war? Is it peace? Is it hope we lack? Now the world's on fire, and we can't turn back. Grandkids at his side, fists raised high. No more questions, time to defy. The government's hunting, they want it dead. But TJ's crew won't be misled. They're hiding out in a nowhere town, chasing clues while the world shuts down. Alien speaks the naughty words, just painted spots and secrets burn. They're all gone, only one left. Cracked from the crash, but still drawing breath. Was it mercy or a cosmic mistake? We're standing at the edge, how much can we take? We are the alienated, pushed aside, underestimated. We are the decoded to fate. It's not too late, it's not too late. TJ scars the kid's bright eyes, the alien scream that splits the skies. Truth ain't easy, but they won't stop, cause the answers lie at the mountain. Only one left, last spark of a cosmic theft. What did it want? Why did they die? We'll fight like hell till we find out why. Alienated, we won't run. Alienated, till truth is done. Alienated, the war's begun. Alienated, only one. From the islands where the sun meets the sea, Jason's the voice we all wanna be. Interviewing creators, making comics come alive. With every story, he helps us thrive. Jason from Hawaii, diving in deep, unveiling the stories that we wanna keep. From creators to heroes, he's got the scoop on the comics for fun and profit loops. So tune in.
Aloha! It's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a very special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be interviewing old friends of the podcast, Hugo Award nominated writer, colorist, artist Taki Soma, and Eisner winner, writer, artist Michael Avon Oeming. And I also want to welcome artist John Broglia. Did I Brola? Oh, John. And writer-editor Michael Schey to the podcast.
Mark.
I'm sorry?
Mark Schey.
Oh, Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Oh, my God. That's pretty awful when I start mispronouncing the first name. That's
all good. You got Schey correct.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having all of us.
No,
I mean,
you're
this
welcome.
is the whole team of Alienated.
Yes. Now, Taki, like you said, we got the whole team here. They are here to promote the Comixology Originals Alienated. Now, it is a 6-issue series. The first issue is already available on Comixology right now. Taki, Michael, welcome back. John and Mark, welcome to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. How is everybody doing?
Great. Thank you for having us.
No,
Thank you for having us. Great to be here.
No,
Yeah.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
we're just surviving.
Yes.
Just surviving.
Before we jump right in, I just want to give a big shout out to Dustin Holland of Superfan Promotion. Dustin, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes in setting up this interview and for the advanced reading copy. Gang, do you guys want to give a shout out to Dustin?
Dustin has been a beast
Yes.
at promotions. Like he's on top of it. So yes, thank you so very much.
Agreed. He's been fantastic. Getting like a lot of promotion on this. Taki's been getting so many podcast interviews and so much stuff thrown at her, which is great. Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah,
I've been jealous. I'm like, I want to work for Comixology.
All right, so listeners, we're just going to jump right in. We're going to talk about Alienated. Now, Taki, I'm going to start off with you. What is the story about?
Well, it's about an alien invasion that went wrong. A bunch of aliens show up on Earth, and that part of the question has been answered. Do they exist? Yes, they exist, but they're all dead. So we have more questions than answers.
Now, Mike, I'm going to start off with you. When Taki started to talk about this story, like, what was your reaction? What were your thoughts?
Well, a lot of our stories don't begin as stories; they just start as conversations. So she woke up one morning with just this sort of image in her head, and then we just started talking about it. Sort of like, well, what would happen and what people's reactions would be, and slowly through that, we started to realize that there was like a story, So it's kind of like this one moment where it's kind of like, oh, here's the story. Oh, sometimes that happens, and then in this instance, it was just one of these things of like we just started having a conversation. And then often the way we figure out our stories is by just talking and listening to each other. And then you're listening to other people and you go like, oh my God, that's a great idea. This line that somebody had or a sentence or a phrase. And it's funny, like a lot of what's great about the story, I didn't realize really until much later, especially during these interviews and stuff, like the whole idea of like aliens showing up, but they're all dead. I watched a lot of alien movies and consumed a lot of alien lore, and that's just a setup I've never seen before, and I didn't even think about it until much later. I was like, oh wow, that's new. That's not done very often. Something new,
Yes, it is. Now, John, I'm going to ask you. So, when you heard the story, what were your thoughts? And then, Mark, if you want to jump in, you please do.
Yeah, for me, it was about the heart and family that Taki wrote into these characters.
Yes.
Whenever I pick a project, it has to have those two elements. It has to have heart, and it has to be character driven. Like I've said before so many times, the superheroes flying in tights, the aliens landing on Earth, all of that stuff is extraordinary, and it's fun, and that's the exciting stuff that you get to do in comics. But it has to be grounded in some kind of reality in order to believe it. And this had all of that heart, and it's that family dynamic that I appreciate, that I really love to see. All of that was in this, so that was a big draw for me, and getting to work with Taki.
Yeah, we've known each other.
We haven't gotten to work together yet. So.
Yeah, we've known each other for like what, 18, 19 years or something like that, and we've kind of like watched each other like within industry, like do this and do that and whatever, but we never actually worked together. And so I'm like extremely happy that like we finally get to work together.
Yes.
And the fact that like his art is primed for my style of colors, like I think my color and his art like match so well together. It's a little bit nuts.
Yes. Sorry, I want to, Mark, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think I heard about the story very early on, probably maybe right after Mike heard about it. And I remember just the concept. You hear a lot of concepts, and even among friends like this group, and it's like, what about this? What about this idea? And when Taki said, "What if aliens come to Earth?" and I'm like, "Okay," and she's like, "And they're all dead." and I remember just going like, "That's one of those unique ideas that stands out." And I don't even think the full story had been formed yet. I mean, maybe in the back somewhere, but it's one of those rare ideas that you just go, yes, that has to be you have to run with this. So I was really excited just from the get-go. And then knowing that Taki's going to bring that, like John was talking about, that personality and the characters for sure, based on her prior work. So.
Mm-hmm. And then Mark, that's a perfect segue because Taki, the next question is, who are your main characters in the story?
Well, we have TJ, who is a retired teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and we have Lily and Winter, who are high school siblings,
Yes.
and they're TJ's grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the main characters who finds the only alien that's alive.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you know, they're your typical family where, well, this takes place in Minnesota because I grew up in Minnesota and I love that state. So but I, you know, I wanted like two different like generations, like the elderly and teenagers, because they really represent, you know, groups of people who like whose choices are usually like not their own.
Mm-hmm.
If I can, I'm trying to be coy so that you know the
yeah,
story can like happen and like, you know.
That's
but
fine.
yeah
But also, but that's a great point that you pointed out, was it's the two different generations working together. You know, it's not parent-child. It's not a parent-child thing, because there's like a generation that's separated. That's right. That, I mean, because I saw the teenage kids go hang out with their grandfather, and then, oh my God, what is this in your room? You know.
Yeah.
but the thing is, what's nice is that they have a strong relationship with their grandfather.
But they didn't at first. It's the alien invasion that brought them together, you know, closer, is because they have something in common that they want to protect, you know. So the you know, it's called Alienated, and you know, it's got double meaning, right? Like it's got the word alien in it,
Yes.
but really alienated means that you're, you know, you're not really close to whatever. So
and it's something that like teenagers feel, but it's something that we do to the elderly.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's profound. I just looked that up.
I was like,
that's
that
right.
stunned me. That should go on the back of the cover.
I love the elderly. Like, I just love old people. I just love old people. So,
but the funniest thing was, I think you had a couple conversations with some of our friends. I know you and Mark had this conversation. Was for a second, like when you're writing younger people, sometimes you want to make them as authentic as you possibly can. So for a while there were these conversations like, what are teenagers talking about right now? So like, you know, I think Mark, you had your daughter and you're asking her questions like, what does the word skibbity mean? You know, something like that, you know,
which does not appear in this book.
None of it, but we came to that conclusion very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
but it was fun to listen to you guys figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, do we go down this route?
Yeah, ultimately we're like, yeah, you know, anything that we put in there will date it so quickly that
Yes.
And you know, I just have to treat these characters like they're just people. They're not teenagers, they're not the elderly. They are, but you know, they're more than that, right? Like they're individual humans. So
I kind of like that that so many stories like this usually really push that generational gap, where it's the teenagers versus the older generation, or vice versa. It's the older generation is looking down on the teenagers, like you don't know anything.
Yes.
You know, or teenagers are like, oh, you're so out of touch, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But everybody's kind of coming together.
Yeah.
Where they weren't prior, but now they are. But they're coming together and they care about one another, and that's I like that, because that very much stood out to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a very good point, John. And John, I want to ask you, did Taki give you any notes on the character designs on Lily or Winter, or how they dressed, or even TJ? You know.
Yes, I actually think for TJ, you might have given me like an actor, I can't remember if you did or not. Might have been.
I think I gave you like minimum like
minimal
amount.
stuff.
Like it was very vague. Like I was like, well, he's spry. You know, he's retired, but he's spry and he's very curious. And I think I gave you like an example of 2 actors that I was kind of thinking of. And that's about it. I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, working with Taki's been great like that. She's been letting me kind of add my voice to it as well through the character designs and through the art. Because Taki's an artist. So Taki understands that, you know, and that's why it's great when you're working with somebody that writes and draws, that they understand that this is, you know, how much of a collaborative effort it is and what goes into the art part of it. So, you know, it works out.
It's incredible. The acting that John brings in his pages is kind of like flabbergasting.
Yeah.
And you know, like John said, like, you know, I am an artist myself, but I can't do that like as well as John. And so I made the right choice, basically.
One of my favorite things is to watch Taki get the new art and say, this looks nothing like how I pictured it, and I love it. Like, I feel like that's almost like the joy is purposely is seeing the artist bring that personality to her story. And,
100%.
and I mean, that I feel like you say that like almost daily as the pages are coming in. It's like, this looks absolutely opposite of what I expected, and it's better than everything in my mind.
Yeah.
Thanks.
100%. 100%. I don't know if John noticed this, but there's, you know, like whenever I have characters who just have like a really bit part, I don't mention their gender.
Yes.
And I have like a very like gender neutral names. And I'm always like, I wonder which one is
I'm gonna say because I'm not trying to spoil anything, but because TJ kind of introduces himself to like a minor character in the first issue, right? Where he's visiting his friend, and then next door, you know, the door is open. Hey, you know, these flowers are for you. So is that what you're kind of talking about? Talking like the minor characters, you don't tell John, like you don't, you know, you give them gender neutral names and you just let them go with it.
Yeah. I think at the very end, like I kind of mentioned that like I'm specifically like leaving the gender up to you, whatever. But I think all the other characters are just super minor. I just kind of go, this person is named this, and they're you know, they do this and whatever, and they say this and whatever, and it's so
it's a big part of it. It's just Taki's an artist herself, and she just knows, you know, the more freedom the artist has, you know, and this is a trade-off. So that when you have these moments where you want something specific, and she might say to John, like, this is how I want it. When you give John or any other artist that much more freedom everywhere else, it's going to help them hone in even more on those really important notes.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
I think it's a testament to Taki's writing as well. And it's like that cliche story at this point where Ripley in Alien was gender neutral as well. It's because good characters are good characters.
Yeah.
And whatever John sees, I think it's that story coming out.
Oh, absolutely. I've said that to Taki before, that that her characterization and the way she's writing these characters is just making it it's making it easy for me. It's making it very easy for me to animate them and you know, and it, as you can see, I got my hands going. I'm Italian, so my hands are always my hands. So I have the characters kind of doing that, but the characters are saying something in the story, so it's easy for me to do that with the rest of their body. Like Taki has them saying important things, and everything matters. So,
Michael, I want to ask you this question. I love the cover on this first issue. I know you worked on the series Blue Book. I'm just asking, did you give suggestions to Taki on the alien design? Because
no, well, first John designed the alien. Like
Okay.
all we told John, or all Taki told John, was that when something traditional, you know, what people kind of
the gray alien style or whatever.
Yeah, I think the first alien I submitted to you was like really over the top. Like I think I like it was I actually, and you'll see it maybe later on, I snuck it in. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but I snuck it in somewhere. But I won't say where. But
okay.
But yeah, I think that first one I was like, I really went, you know, because artists are always taught go over, and then you can get pulled back. So I went completely over, and Taki came back and she was like, yeah, I think we're just looking for a traditional gray alien, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can.
Well, only
only
because I was so vague about what I wanted to that I think I forgot to mention that the alien isn't like sinister. You know, so because when you hear like alien invasion stories, you kind of think like, oh, maybe they have nefarious reasons to be here. I don't know, whatever.
But even then, John found specificity in the design. You know, like
the two thumbs.
The two thumbs is really cool and funny. And kind of these double eyelid thing going on and stuff.
Yeah, I always figured our thumbs is what separates us from everything else on the show.
That's like separates.
I figured two thumbs would separate him from us. Wasn't much
like
thought
two
put
of
into
them,
it.
so they're like
they're double advanced.
He two thumbs up. Super advanced.
Mark, do you want to add anything to the alien design? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, I mean, John just takes Taki's writing to the next level, and it's just fantastic to see come through. The alien and of course, you know, Mike's cover. I mean, it's score on sight, and I love that, particularly from the editing standpoint. When you look at this cover, you know what you're getting instantly.
Yes.
Yeah, you look at the cover and you see the big gray alien eyes, and you see the reflection. Go to Amazon and you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going any more than that. But and click buy while you're at it. But yeah, no, there's you know, it's exciting to see. I mean, it really, I mean, I sit back and I kind of watch that back and forth. But it's really just exciting to see both of them be so excited about it.
Yes.
And I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, I gotta say that's Taki's design basically. We worked really close on it, but like I wanted to do sort of traditional montage-y kind of covers, you know, where you see the alien and something that's happening in the episode, and the cast of characters, and she was like, she has an advertising background, and she was just like, you know, people are buying this because of the alien thing, right?
Yeah.
So like, just keep the alien front and center every time, and like, it's a little challenging because it's kind of variations on just his face when you look at all the covers as they come out, but finding ways to make it all interesting. Yeah, it's been really great. And like, and Mark is right. When you scroll through the Comixology originals, I'm not saying because of me, I'm saying because of the direction that Taki was pushing for. Those covers just pop.
Yes.
Yeah, the thumbnail,
which is important. Yeah,
most of the time you're looking at on a small screen, and people like looking at faces, especially seeing an alien face. You stop.
Yes.
Yeah, it pops right off the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only get a little bit of a thumbnail.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you're scrolling through, and you know, Mike's and Taki's that design, the colors on it, everything is just poof, like comes right at you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, but like I always just go like simple is always like you know, my philosophy, because I'm a simple human being. And you know, but I just think clean, simple, you know, easy to digest visually is what I always try to go for. That's just my philosophy from that I picked up from like advertising and stuff, is like you need to grab their attention, and you need, and once you get that attention, you know, you want to try and tell them exactly what it is.
Yes.
You know, like without any words or anything.
Yes.
You know, and that's what I always try to go for.
Because going back to the covers, and then I'll start moving on, because you know, because Michael, again, Taki, John, and Mark, it's just simple because it's a recognizable alien face that we've seen. You know, UFOs or whatever they're calling them right now is It'll pop up every couple months in the news.
Yeah.
The Travel Channel has all these ancient aliens. Everybody knows it. So, Mark, like you said, if people are scrolling, even John, like you said, people are scrolling through, Amazon, the Comixology Unlimited or something, and they see a thumbnail, they're like, oh, alien, and they're going to stop. And then, Mike, how you have the eyes reflecting on already, you're showing what's already part of the story. Then it's like, oh, now I want to see what this is.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the most fun things, this is, I don't know, it's stupid, but like, I drew all the dead body, the dead alien bodies separate. And then like in Clip Studio, there's this fun warping thing where you kind of pinch the shape of it, so I didn't draw it really, really warped, but I was able to wrap that around. It's this neat, neat little tool in Photoshop or Clip Studio that made that possible. Because, but I don't know, that was fun.
Very nice. Now, Taki, I want to mention, now I can tell you guys what I love about this first issue is, it's like you said, we begin with, and something happened with this alien invasion. And Mark, like you said, John, we've never seen this before. It's always like after the invasion, after all this, and then poof, the alien dies because of bacteria they never seen on Earth, war of the world.
Humans are gross.
Yeah. But we start off with this whole thing. And Taki, the thing I love about it, it's a slice of life story during a life-changing event. And John, like you said, the characters, as long as the characters have a heart, that's what drew me into the story. Because it doesn't seem like people are going, oh my God, we're being invaded. It's like, oh, okay, wait, we have a dead body and it's not human,
Yeah, what do we do with this?
Yeah, that's the thing is people are going, what do we do with this? And that's what I really love about it. And the other thing I love about this first issue is we slowly get to, know Lily and Winter, and then we see their relationship grow with their, strengthen with TJ. I just love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
John, I have to comment. I love the details in this first issue because it made me believe this was a real world. I will give you a very good example. I think it was the second or third page with the TV reporter is outside, the cameraman. I mean, it's like the details of you're looking down, you see the guy's roof, you see the truck, you see the guy. I mean, I love the details. And I love, the expression on TJ's face in certain scenes. It's great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Very good.
That page that you just mentioned with the news reporter,
yes,
is actually a double page spread that we had to like make it into two separate pages because it just would it just fits better
format.
in a book format, like a digital format. So whenever like this gets to be printed, we're definitely doing that double page spread.
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. That page is crazy beautiful.
And then
that was fun to draw.
Taki, the other thing I want to add is I love the colors because it's so vibrant.
Thank you.
It really does. Mark, do you want to add anything to that? Because I see you nodding in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there's also things I can't say because like I'm seeing obviously later issues than you are, but it's regular that I'm like, I might be giving notes to Taki, but I'm like, page 11, oh my God, that angle is just like fantastic. That John just does a great job of taking, again, Taki's words and her story and just adding, the camera, like a director of photography, an illustrator, all in one, and just watching them again. I feel redundant here, but watching them work together is magical. And then so it's like three steps for me. So Taki writes it. I have a version in my head. Then it goes to John. for inks. Then it goes back to Taki, and then I get to see it colored and lettered. So like I'm seeing like each time it adds this new layer, and it's kind of fun. I almost like feel like I mean it's a privilege because most people don't get to experience it. They get to see the finished product.
Yes.
But watching it like unfold from text to ink to colored ink and lettering is just it's an amazing fun process as well.
Yeah. I just want to also add that like every single one of us, the 4 people who are making Alienated, we're all writers as well.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I think why John's work in this book specifically is so strong. Like a lot of his other work, he's done genre work, right? So it's you know like Zombie Sama, right, or Savior, where it's like you know people with swords and superhero stuff, and a lot of that kind of action does its own storytelling. But here you are in a room full of elderly people or teenagers talking in a bedroom, right? Those are the hardest things. It's easy to draw somebody being thrown through a window, believe it or not.
Exactly.
That does a lot of work for you.
Yeah, it's exciting and visually exciting. Yeah.
But because you're a writer and you have an animation background, that's where you trained at SVA, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like you're a master storyteller.
Yeah.
You know, and the two of you guys working together, Taki knows how to tell story through her colors. There's a lot of colorists who are good colorists. They know color theory.
Yeah.
But Taki knows how to tell a story through it. So the two of them working together is creating a sort of third new talent, you know. It's
like
great to watch.
I think we are really good combo. Like in my style of colors, actually, I think I just learned it for this purpose.
We definitely complement each other.
But again, like I think all 4 of us being writers as well as artists, that like Mark knows how to edit because he's a storyteller himself, and like John is a good storyteller visually because he's a writer himself, and you know all that. Like I just think we just have this like really strong you know team.
4-4.
Yeah, like
yeah.
And like I think we're all a little like you know what's the phrase, like we're
Kismet.
like
Synchronicity.
We're overtrained.
Overqualified.
Overqualified. Like if you know, if only like one of us is like a writer, but you know what I mean. Like there's like 4 like amazing writers, like all like just kind of coming together.
Mark is the best kind of editor, dude, because like so a lot of editors only know the technical end of things. You know, how to make PDFs, how to put everything together, how to make sure that the schedules are staying on time, how to make sure that the grammar is correct, and all this kind of stuff. But he can do all that, and he's a storyteller. So that's a rare combination. Usually, you get one or the other.
Yeah,
he knows the creative aspect.
There was a lot of like, why is this person doing that?
Right.
You know,
and
that's a lot of fun to go back and forth on that.
Yeah, like every note of his makes sense. Why he's got a note on it, you know. It's and it's never like, well, I don't know. I think this should be blue.
You know what's funny? I was actually going to use that exact example of making something blue because, you know, I come from a background of directing television commercials, and you have clients who will be like, what if you just change their shirt to green or blue? And it's like, that's not going to change anything. Like, the sales are going to triple.
Your product is still dumb. It doesn't matter.
Like blue.
Statistics show blue.
Statistics show blue really sense.
All right. So, Taki, I'm going to start with you. Mark, John, and Michael, jump in. How did you guys team up with Comixology? Like, you know, like what happened? Like, you know, Taki, did you go to Comixology or did you present this to Mark and hey, let's go?
So it kind of happened over a long period of time. John and Neil Clyde were working on Nice Jewish Boys for Comixology originals. And when I asked John to come on board, we didn't have a publisher. I was just like, he's just the right artist for me. So, you know, he needs to start making pages. I don't know where it's going to go, whatever. And, you know, like, and I know Neil myself too, and I can't exactly remember how it happened, but Neil eventually introduced me to Comixology. He's like, hey, you know what? I like working with them. I think you would too. I'm just going to make you an intro and see what happens. And that's literally what happened. And at the time when I was introduced, they were making a lot of changes at the time.
Yes.
They were like, we're not really looking for anything right now, but you know, just we'll get back to you. And then John and I kept working together. And yeah, and then when they were like, yeah, what do you got? Then I had, you know, we had what, 6 pages done.
Yep.
Fully done to show them, and that's how it happened.
Mark, I'm going to ask, how did you come aboard?
I mean, I'd worked with Taki prior on an anthology that I had done, and we wrote 2 stories together. And we had mutual friends who introduced us, and we enjoyed working together the first time. And I think that, you know, this might have even started as a pitch, like, hey, this is something I'm working on. How involved do you want to get? And we just knew we wanted to work on something else together.
Yes.
Yep.
We had so much fun on the previous, and yeah, so on this one, I came on board as an editor. I felt in this particular case, Taki had such a strong vision for where the characters want to go that I felt like I'd be in the way if I came on in any other capacity. Not saying that she would have.
Mark was the person who really kind of, he's the reason why it's called Alienated. Originally we were like, Mike and I were calling it like
hashtag dead aliens.
Hashtag dead aliens or something like that, because I'm like, that's not the title. I just can't come up with a better one. And then like
Working
when Mark and I were just kind of talking, like we you know, talk often and frequently, and we talk about projects that we want to work on together, or just what we're working on, and we just talk about stories and whatever. And you know, I brought up hashtag dead aliens, and you know, I'm like, you know, I just don't think that's the right title, whatever. And like we just kept talking and talking, and it like for like 2 seconds I was going to call it Zeta Reticuli, because you know, Mark's like, you know, that's what they're called, or because, you know, some people believe that that's where the great aliens come from, and I'm like, oh, it's like a great title. But then I was like, but it didn't speak.
It's not snappy.
It didn't speak true to the story, right? So yeah, so that's when I changed course and came up with Alienated. But like, it's when he kind of brought up that name, like Zeta Reticuli, is when I really just kind of like, I knew that like where I needed to go. You know, Zeta Reticuli would actually tell you what it's about, but it didn't speak to the content of the story. So, you know, like, I don't know. So he was definitely like the person who was like kind of pushing me, like that's, you know, dead aliens is definitely not it. And, you know, Zeta is not the right name either. And, you know, yeah.
I think that's what it was called when you guys came to me. I think it was Zeta. I think it was.
Oh, wow.
I think that's where you were at when you guys reached out.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, like Taki and I come from different directions a lot of time, and I think we both make each other think. Like, I know. I mean, we've discussed this where it's like,
oh yeah,
why did Mark just suggest that? Like, what's he talking about? That makes no sense. And then the next day, it's like, wait a second.
It does make
sense. What about this? Or like this made me think of something else, or and vice versa. And I think if you have like you don't want like a yes man, right? It's fun because we can challenge each other, and I think that brings out a better product.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But I do also want to tease that you know, Comixology also picked up another project at the same time that they picked up Alienated. and that's being worked on right now as we speak. And Mark is somehow involved in it, so just a little teaser.
You can say, I mean, they have released a banner and my name is on it, and they don't put editors' names on it, right?
It's a good way to put it.
I mean, I'm not saying anymore.
Mark, I want to ask you a question. Because Comixology, whenever they release everything, any word on when will this be a printed? Would this come out in a printed trade after it's?
That is the goal.
Okay.
It's not like 100%.
Yeah, it's not
yet,
guaranteed.
But yeah, that's absolutely the goal.
But with all the things happening in the news and in the world right now, your best bet is to get it go to Amazon and buy it right now digitally.
Get it digitally.
That was like ominous right there. Do you have instant information?
Get it while you can.
Yes.
Maybe over.
Before the internet goes down.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the internet doesn't go down, because I think one of the good things about Comixology, especially Unlimited, is that basically anyone can read your work in the world anywhere.
Anywhere, and like immediately. You don't have to go to the store, you don't have to wait for it in the mail, you don't have to do anything.
And I think that's the good thing. That's one of the things I love about Comixology, is that and Taki, this story is perfect because you have time to let your characters grow. We get to learn, we get to see them develop. John, like I said, I think on the computer, your artwork is amazing. With Taki's colors, it's very good, because it's really good.
Thank you so much.
So I'm gonna slowly start wrapping things up. Taki, I'm gonna start off with you. John, Michael, Mark, just jump right in, because it sounds like you guys had a lot of fun working on this. Any fun or exciting moments while working on this series? I know it's still being worked on right now, but anything fun or exciting happen while you guys are making this? Such as you guys get to meet over Zoom and just talk story, or Taki, I'll start off with you.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that like Mike and I are in on the West Coast, and Mark and John are on the East Coast, and to the point where I've never met Mark, but we're like real good friends.
Yes.
John,
brothers and sisters, basically.
yeah. And John, like I said, we've been friends for long time, almost 2 decades, and we've met, and we've been to his wedding and all that stuff, right? But the unfortunate part is that even though we're working together, we haven't been able to like get together in person. So that I think needs to be,
remedied.
There was a technology that could.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That means we have to go to the East Coast. We're outnumbered.
Yeah.
No, I think
there's so many more people over here.
No, here's your guys' meeting place. Do it in Hawaii.
I would take you up on that in a second.
John, Mark, Michael, you guys go to Comixology and you guys go, Taki, you go, I have this story, Asian family, Hawaii, but you know what? We got to go to Hawaii to make sure we got everything right.
I always need reference. So
yes, John,
you
need to make sure Diamond Head looks like Diamond Head.
Photos for reference, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Mark, you got to come here to scout locations, and also you got to coordinate the Mai Tai hour every Friday.
I hear you. I have been to Hawaii. I've been to the North Shore of Oahu, and it's absolutely stunning.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been to Oahu, Kauai, and one other island.
Not the big islands,
not the big Honolulu's on.
That's on Oahu.
Oahu, yeah.
And then Kauai, and then one more island. Anyway,
Maui.
Maui's on
Fuck me, I don't remember.
I don't know.
John, what about you? Have you guys been to Hawaii?
I've never had the pleasure, and it's always been a bucket list destination. My wife and I, we came close. We almost went for our honeymoon, but at the time we couldn't swing it. So we are hoping to go in the near future with my girls, and to do a family trip.
How old's your youngest?
9. She's turning 10.
Perfect. Great age.
That's the best age for Hawaii.
I got it.
Yeah. After that, don't bother.
John, I gotta send you and I will send it to you within sometime in the next. Yes, I know this is all part of the interview, guys. But anyway, John, I'm gonna send you info about the Hawaiian Inner Island cruise, because you get to go to Maui for 2 days. You're there for 2 days. The Big Island, you're there for like 12 hours on Hilo side is the east side of the Big Island. Kona's on the west side, the fourth day, and then you end your trip in Kauai for the last 2 days, and then you come back to Honolulu.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. I probably wouldn't come back. I probably wouldn't come back. I would not come back to the East Coast.
It looks like a giant movie set. I mean, like, I'm a big Jurassic Park fan.
Yeah, me too.
I got to go to the ranch, I think it's called.
Yes,
right?
cool.
Yeah, and you go there and you're like, this is the scene.
Yeah,
and also,
right. Yeah, we had a helicopter ride in Hawaii.
Oh, it is.
Where they shot the I don't like the
fall,
first film, huh?
The Jurassic Park, the waterfall.
Yeah, so we took a helicopter ride around all the Jurassic Park sets that they filmed on Kauai.
Yeah, we exclusively travel with helicopter now.
I mean,
grocery store.
Yeah, Vancouver, Washington. Just and
then Mark, it's a shame you couldn't go to Kauai, and I don't think there's any access, because I know you had the Raiders of the Lost Ark pinball machine.
Oh, right, because they had this. That's where they filmed the opening as well.
Yes,
and that's actually where I believe they originated the story of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes,
with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg sitting on a beach, talking about their next project. They couldn't get James Bond, and they were on a beach.
Yep. Actually, Mark, you and John have a lot to talk about when it comes to indie. You're the two biggest fans.
There we go.
I got
very
probably can't see it back here, but let me see if I can wing it. Let's see if I can wing it.
Sorry, listeners. I know this is audio. John's like,
oh, sorry, guys. That's my big. I'll show them after.
I mean, that's one of my favorite.
Hat, all my artifacts. Yeah, I've got it all.
Yeah, I have the Indiana Jones widebody Williams, 1993, I believe, and it's one of my favorite Indiana Jones artifacts, so to speak. Right.
Awesome.
All right. Let me just ask. I'm going to ask the closing question. John, I'm going to start off with you, Mark, Michael, and then Taki. I'm going to give you the last word. Any closing words to our listeners?
Go pick up the book. Go buy the book. If you like character-driven stories, if you like aliens, but if you like alien stories that involve human aspect, that involve suspense, and the danger is there. All of that exciting stuff is there, but that heart and that family is there. Mm-hmm. And that's what come for the aliens and stick around for that. Stick around for the family that you're going to fall in love with while reading this story.
Mark?
Yeah, I think, I mean, John said it perfectly, but, to add to that, it's the concept itself. Aliens have arrived and they're all dead. I think, I can't give away what happens, of course, but the fact of the matter is Taki did such a great job with the story where she turns a lot of the conventions on their head. We talked about a few of them, but if you're looking for a different type of alien story, because they've been told hundreds of different ways, but this one is unique, and I think that anyone who enjoys those type of stories, as well as the family and the interpersonal relationships, even if you don't like aliens, and you just want to, we touched on the elderly and teenage angst, for example. There's something beyond that. So even if you don't like sci-fi, I think you're going to enjoy just the characters.
Michael?
Go to Amazon and Comixology over there and buy the book. You can buy it right now. And check out the Comixology Unlimited thing, because you can just have all of these great books at your fingertips without having to, a lot of us are busy and you have to travel to the stores. Comic books are always going to be there, but just an easy way. And they're priced less than your average comic as well. They're priced what a digital comic should be priced. So yeah, go check them out.
Yeah. April 29th, tomorrow is my birthday. So to make my birthday a really good one, read Alienated.
Yes.
There you go.
Taki, I'm sorry, but this episode will probably go up within a week or two, so I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
But it would be past. Yeah, I know. But you know what?
I
But it's going to be, we'll make it a belated birthday present to Taki. Yeah. All right. So Taki, Michael, John, Mark, mahalo. Thank you in Hawaiian for your time. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to interview all of you. Thank you very much. I'm going to say this. I know this is going to sound weird, but thank you guys for making comics. I love this. I love this hobby that we do. It's great, and I wish, the success on this limited series, Alienated, I want to thank Dustin of Superfan Promotion for setting up this interview and for the advanced reading copy. Now, if you are a new comic book reader or a lifelong comic book reader who loves science fiction mysteries, please check out Alienated. It's on Comixology. The first issue is on Comixology right now. I love the first issue because we've talked about it, that, even though there's a sci-fi element to it, really there's a heart and soul behind, in this story. And also to John's art, Taki's colors, it's very good. And I love the great cover from Michael. Thank you very much. And then I want to thank Drew, the host of Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys. Aloha.
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 Morning paper falls, empty coffee stains through the window panes. Something changed today in his trembling hands. Truth he can't explain. We found it hiding in the tall grass behind the old swing set, where childhood meets mystery, where fear meets protect. The last one standing, arms wide open, catching star fall in our hands. Time stops breathing, world keeps turning, while we try to understand. Grandpa's eyes are bright, children gather close in the garden shed. Something starts to glow, ancient words unsaid, stories left to know. We keep it safe between the heartbeats of yesterday and now, where wisdom meets innocence, where questions show us how. The last one standing, arms wide open, catching starfall in our hands. Time stops breathing, world keeps turning, while we try to understand. Far beyond the atmosphere, messages written in light, calling out across the years to this late moment, this night. In his backyard now, for generations stand, guarding what remains of a distant land. Promise in their eyes, future in their hands. The last one standing.